What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer. I thought I'd just really quickly do this. I just did the deck profile for Ice Barriers, so I thought I'd do like an updated combo guide. I've pretty much done this before, but I guess it has been a while, so I just wanted to make sure, and it can't possibly hurt to have an updated combo list for this deck. So this is like my favorite combo. Basically, what you really only need is Revealer and Speaker in hand, but it's always very nice to have Atlantean Dragoons, and I'll show you why right now. So we can go ahead and normal summon the Revealer. Since we control an Ice Barrier, we can special summon this card from our hand for free. And now we're going to go ahead and use the effect to discard a card from our hand, special summon an Ice Barrier tuner from deck. For whatever reason, you can't special summon for the rest of the turn except water monsters. Like, that seems way too restrictive in my opinion, but the combo ends up working out either way. Alright, so now we can trigger the effect of Dragoons, which is pretty interesting, right? Because the card says, if sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster effect, so it's pretty generic, obviously. This is a water monster, so what we can add to our hand is a Glacia. All we have to do is line up 5 water monsters in our graveyard, which luckily we're able to do through the course of this combo. 2 level 4s, you know what that means, Bahamut Shark. And we can, very importantly, make sure you discard the Speaker of the Ice Barriers, but that's going to go ahead and special summon a Totally Awesome. Now we can use the effect of the Hexa Spirit of the Ice Barrier. This lets us dump a level 3 or lower Ice Barrier monster from our deck to the graveyard. And the choice that I do is a Warlock of the Ice Barrier. I think there's another one. It doesn't really matter. These cards are almost never going to come up. It's literally just used to Foolish Burial it for this exact combo. So now we can go ahead and banish Speaker of the Ice Barrier, and we get to special summon a token. It's a level 1, no attack or defense, but it obviously doesn't matter for us, because we're going to convert the Bahamut Shark and that token into a Marincess Coral Anemone. All it requires is 2 water monsters, and that token is a water monster. So we can use the effect of it to target 1 water monster with 1500 or less attack in the graveyard. So we did Foolish Burial for a reason. Then we can go ahead and convert the Coral, Marincess, and the Hexa and go into a Halq Fibrax, which is a water monster, ironically. And from the deck, we're going to go ahead and special summon Deep Sea Minstrel. It's a level 3 tuner. That's the only important part that you need to know, because we are locked into water monsters. And then we can convert those 2 and go into... Oh, actually, excuse me. So at this point, you have to make sure you don't do anything else, because if you see here, there's only 5 water monsters here in the graveyard, which is very important because Glacia is there in our hand. So we can go ahead and activate that effect, discarding 2 random cards from our opponent's hand. And we can convert those into a Synchro 6, which is going to be Penguin Brave. Penguin Brave is going to go ahead and special summon from the deck a Penguin Soldier. So we were able to pop 2 cards out of our opponent's hand. We got a Penguin Soldier here on the board, which is going to be a quick effect to bounce 2 cards. We have the Omni Negate here, and they're actually going to be discarding 3 cards. So as soon as our main phase starts, you can go ahead and switch out Halq Fibrax, for your Desert Lotus, which makes them discard a card. So really, you're discarding 3 cards from your opponent's hand, and then you have a few options. So the Desert can combine with the Penguin Brave during your opponent's turn, because a quick effect Synchro Summon to go into Geomathemech Final Sigma, so it's unaffected by all card effects to the 3000 body. Or if you're able to last long enough after you use the effect of Penguin Soldier and it stays on the field, you can combine that to go into a Borreload Savage Dragon, which will give you another Omni Negate. So considering they'll have, 3 cards in their hand here, it's pretty good a combo in my opinion. So that's combo number 1. And the other 2 are pretty similar, so the last one will go by pretty quick. But this is Deep Sea Diva, so this card lets you special summon from the deck a level 3 lower Sea Serpent monster. In our case, that's going to be Neptibus, the Atlantean Prince. This lets you send an Atlantean monster from your deck to the graveyard, add an Atlantean card. So we're actually going to be sending the same card, so we're going to be sending Dragoons and adding Dragoons to our hand. It's the only Atlantean cards we have. And then Atlantean's effect, like we talked about in the last one, lets us add a Sea Serpent monster from deck to hand. And we're not going to add Glacia just yet. We're going to add the Deep Sea Minstrel. This card lets you discard this card and 1 water monster, look at your opponent's hand, and banish one of their cards from their hand face up. So if they happen to be in their hand thinking they're good, like, oh, this is a combo deck, well, you're about to snipe it right out. So we'll go ahead and use that effect. Look at our opponent's hand. These are just like blank cards, obviously, but that could probably be something pretty important. Or if they do have something important in your hand, like a play starter, you want to not, do that because it does go back to their hand at the end of the turn. You want them to have a chance, to discard it from their hand, right? With Mooling Glacier. Alright, so we can convert those two into Crystalline Holly Fibrax. We're not locked into waters or anything. So from the deck, we're going to special summon a Despot 001. We'll talk about that in a second. We can convert those two directly, or immediately I should say, into Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon. This lets you make 3 machine tokens. They're all level 3s too, which is important. So there we go. There's 1, 2, 3. That's going to trigger Despot 001. If 2 or more machine monsters are special summoned to the field at the same time, you can bring this guy back. And it's also like not a once per turn. So we can convert the Despot 001 and one of the tokens into Cupid Pitch. So if this card is Synchro Summon, increase or decrease its level by the level the tuner uses material on the field. So just 1 there. So it's going to be a 5 basically, which will come up in a moment. Then we can use the secondary effect of Mecha Phantom Beast to tribute 2 tokens to special summon a Mecha Phantom Beast monster from the deck. So we will convert those into Mecha Phantom Beast Colt Wing, which produces 2 tokens when it's special summoned. The whole Mecha Phantom Beast thing is obviously about tokens. And those tokens are going to trigger Despot 001 again, since 2 machines were special summoned at the same time. That's going to come back. And now we have this full board of monsters. We can convert one of the tokens and the Cupid Pitch, which is a level 5, to go into a Synchro 8, and that's Borreload Savage Dragon. And then we can use the secondary effect of the Cupid Pitch here. Basically, if it's sent to the graveyard of sync material, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the new Synchro Summoned levels monster times 100, which is kind of cool, I suppose, especially when it comes to time. And then you get to add a level 8 or lower monster with 600 defense from your deck to your hand. What we're going to do is add an extender. And then Borreload Savage Dragon to equip the Crystalline Holly Fibrax, which is very important because if you look, the rest of our graveyard is water monsters. So we're able to get this card out, Symbol and Glacier is online. Then, to our hand, we're going to go ahead and add here the Creation Resonator. Basically, if you control a level 8 or higher Synchro monster, it's a free special summon. So if you hard draw this, it's really not the end of the world. Then we can convert the Creation Resonator and Colt Wing and go into a Synchro 10. So if you're wondering how that works out, because this does not equal 10 here, basically, let's see, what does it say exactly? If I want to... This card's level is increased by the total level of all Mecha Phantom Beast tokens you control. So that's what increased the level to let you go into a Synchro 10. Just in case you're confused there. And then last but not least, we convert the last token and the Despot 001 to go into Herald. That's a Synchro 4. So we can go into Mooling Glacier now. There's 5 water monsters in the graveyard, discarding 2 random cards from our opponent's hand. So they will be starting with 3 cards, and you'll have basically, 3 Omni Negates, which is super sick in my opinion. So that was combo number 2, and the last combo is essentially the exact same. You just don't get the discard effect. But I wanted to show you what happens if you open up Mecha Phantom Beast Colt Wing, because Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon has to special summon from the deck. Well, Plague Spreader Zombie, when it's in the graveyard, you get to special summon it back by placing 1 card from your hand at the top of the deck. So the Mecha Phantom Beast goes to the top of the deck, but we don't have to worry about that too much, right? Because it's going to be special summoned right back in 2 seconds with the Mecha Phantom Beast. The 3 tokens come out. That triggers Despot 001 to go into Cupid Pitch. Cupid Pitch increases its level. We can special summon out that Mecha Phantom Beast Colt Wing right from the top of our deck. But it was technically in there, right? It's all that matters. And those go into Borreload Savage Dragon. And I put these all in defense position to play around Lightning Storm, so you don't have to waste one of your Omni Negates on it. That's kind of how I would play it. And yeah, you get the 3 interruptions. No discard, but you do get 3 Omni Negates, which is pretty darn good in my opinion. So that is an updated combo guide, for this deck. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I'll see you guys next time.